All right, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Mawasar.
Shalom, all.
All right, and today, like you see in the title, hey, we going into do you know who your ancestors are? Right? Do you know who you come from? Right? Are we more than just who Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X? I mean, we got ancestors that go way back further than that. But do you know who they are? And if not, that's okay. That's what we're here for. All right, what you got out?
Khan, do you know who your ancestors are, man? Like the brother was saying, we not just, it go way back to Luther King and Malcolm X and, or Muhammad Ali and, it goes way back. Far from that, right? I mean, you damn, they talking about the richest black man and things of that manner. Hey, that always go back to our ancestors, King Solomon. And Jake and Eve don't know their ancestors. We more than just slaves, man. I mean, that when we talk about ancestors, that's what they in the schools. Slavery, if they still talking about that in schools. I mean, the school system's changing now. They starting to teach other things, right? Just found out they teaching damn fifth graders. Just found out. One of the brothers sent it in the chat. They teaching fifth graders on how to fornicate with themselves, right? Fifth grade. This is what they teaching in the schools. They trying to push it out. They not trying to learn about they ancestors, they forefathers, foremothers. They not trying to teach those things. Not like they got the whole role, but like I was saying, we more than slaves, man. So once you know your ancestors, who they are, and the characteristics that they have, you'll realize about yourself, right? So I'm gonna bring out Romans 15:4. But whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope, right? Because everything that's written aforetime was written for our learning. We can learn so much about ourselves, right? Certain characteristics, how we act, and things of that manner. And how do we get to know that? It's from our forefathers. Number two, I mean, the average Joe, the average Jake may know that this Bible is a history book, and some don't. But some that don't, hey, when you dive into this book, I'm finding out that, oh, dang, this why I act like this. Oh, man, whole time, Solomon was right. See, they think that the so-called black man, he was just, but we more than that. We were people with honor and dignity, right? And we was glorious, man. Right? I got another precept because it goes way back than this, and you can learn so much, And even if you do know this history book, you put on fringes, you get into this thing, privacy or things of that manner. But you do need to realize that you reading about your forefathers and you reading about yourself. This is your family. This is literally our bloodline that the Lord bless you to know, because nobody else knows this. This Psalm 77, verse 5. I have considered the days of old, the years of ancient times. So we got to consider and be considerate of our forefathers and the way they move and how they act, the things they possess, and the things they didn't possess because of their actions. I mean, so we got to know who our ancestors are in this thing. But you got to,
So
brother.
like I was muted. That lead me into my first point perfectly though. It's Deuteronomy chapter 32. I'm gonna go into verse 7. It's talking about literally looking back and seeing what did your ancestors do before you? Right? This is in the Torah. Right? Deuteronomy 32 and verse 7. It says, remember the days of old, consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will shew thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. Right? You literally are supposed to be asking your father, your grandma, grandpa, your uncles, whoever, hey, what was it like back then? Like I do that all the time, right? Not my ancestors from 1,000 years ago, but I ask my pops. I might ask some of the older Jakes at my job, like, what was it like back in the '80s, in the '70s? Was this type of stuff normal? Was that type of stuff normal? Right? That's how you really supposed to be moving. You know what I'm saying? If you think about how we live now, even with us being on these phones, we the first generation to do that. Bro, I'm old enough to remember when phones was not a thing. I'm talking about smartphones. Like, I remember when we still had MP3 players. You know what I'm saying? You still had to put the CD. You remember the CD player? Used to carry it around. I'm old enough to remember that. I used to burn CDs.
The Walkman.
Yeah, the Walkman. You know what I'm saying? Then the iPods came out. Then hey, it was over with. I remember the Sidekick phones. You slid it up. You know, look how the technology is advancing, bro. It was not like this back in the times of our ancestors. You can go straight down the street to the gas station, to Family Dollar, to Cousin Subs, Pick and Save, Kroger, wherever it is you live at. I know everybody got a Walmart. Hey, it wasn't no Walmarts back then in the time of Moses. You ate what you killed or what you grew. You feel what I'm saying? So I want to get this in Sirach chapter 7. It's Sirach chapter 7 and verse number 15. It says, hate not laborious work, neither husbandry, which the Most High hath ordained. Right? And husbandry is going into, a certain type of farming. We don't do that now. You know what I'm saying? We lazy. We sit in the house. We want work from home jobs. We used to get in that field, man. We got literal laws of how to take care of your animals, how to take care of your seeds, them types of things. We used to get it in, man. Anybody who's ever had any type of experience with farming, hey, we tried to start fires a couple months back for the Pentecost up here in Milwaukee. And let me tell you, that's laborious work right there, man. You know, now we got them big lighters, we can just light them. Hey, back then, man, they had to probably take two big old rocks, crack them together. That's why you couldn't kindle a fire on the Sabbath. You know how much work that is? You're supposed to be resting. So we got to really, really get in there and see, like, what type of time was our ancestors on, right? They wasn't sitting around on social media. They damn sure wasn't talking to themselves in EDM trying to get a response. We wasn't doing none of that. We was out here putting in that work. We was going to war. That's another thing. We come from warriors. Let me tell you that. And let me get one of the greatest warriors in the Bible. And you already know I'm going to First Maccabees. All right. I want First Maccabees, man. One of the cold. I'm talking about cold. Let me find this, man. All right, I just brought this account out, I think last week or the week before, but hey, we bringing it back up. All right, let's talk about Judas for a second. This First Maccabees chapter 9, and I'm gonna start at verse. Where I want to start? Man, this chapter is hard. Let's start at verse 6. First Maccabees chapter 9 and verse 6. Who seeing the multitude? I'm gonna start at verse 5. Now Judas had pitched his tent at Eliezer, and 3,000 chosen men with him. Right? And even that, y'all, Jake, you ain't riding around with 3,000 Jakes with you. You know what I'm saying? Imagine 3,000 people all moving in one accord. These was chosen men. They wasn't just randoms. Chosen men. That's how he was rolling around. He had pull. These men had to respect. Hey, 3,000 people ain't finna follow you if you just, some weak dude. That's not how that works. Right, I'm gonna keep reading. It says, who seeing the multitude of the other army to be so great were sore afraid, whereupon many conveyed themselves out of the host, insomuch as there abode of them no more but 800 men. When Judas therefore saw that his host slipped away, and that the battle pressed upon him, he was sore troubled in mind, and much distressed, for that he had no time to gather them together. So all this was happening real quick. Imagine you a general, you about to go to war, you already gonna be some type of nervous, and then your people just kind of skedaddle on you. They're kind of like, hey, I don't know if we can do this, and you don't even have time to sit and think about what's going on. You got to move so quick. Right now, let's see what his response to this situation was. When Judas, nevertheless, unto them that remained, he said, let us arise and go up against our enemies, if peradventure we may be able to fight with them. He's still like, hey, we still finna get down. I mean, with these 800 brothers I got, hey, let's just keep going. Let's go get on them. You know, and it take a difference. But like when you was in high school, man, I remember it was this situation, this little situation I had. Uh, she ended up kind of getting jumped, like 5-on-1. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, hey, imagine you fighting by yourself. It's 5 people trying to jump you. It was 3-on-5. Hey, them two kind of like, hey, I don't. She kind of on her own. Just imagine that times 50, right? Imagine you get, hey, in verse number uh in verse number 4, it tell you it was 20,000 footmen and 2,000 horsemen. It was 22,000 against 3,000. Then it became 22,000 against 800. You feel what I'm saying? It's certain cities y'all probably watching from at home that don't even got 22,000 people. Now imagine 22,000 people coming up against you to want to fight you, but they want to take your life. They ain't just trying to win no fight. This is war. They trying to stab you. They trying to shoot you. They trying to take your family captive. They trying to take you. They trying to kill you and take your wife for themselves. Take your daughter for themselves. Right? This is a serious situation. Let's keep reading. It says, verse 9, but they dehorted him, saying, we shall never be able. And that's a weak ass mindset to have. We shall never be able. Do you know what God we serve? What makes you think that these 22,000 heathen dogs can be anything up against the Most High? Right? But they wasn't in the spirit. They wasn't moving right. And that's how we move today. That's how we move today. But I'm going to keep reading. It says, let us now rather save our lives, and hereafter we will return with our brethren and fight against them, for we are but few. Now let's see what this mighty warrior Judas Maccabeus responded to that. Then Judas said, God forbid that I should do this thing. He said, over my dead body, I'm running from my enemy. You know what I'm saying? Jake, you kind of move like that. They be in the songs, or I ain't running from nothing. You know what I'm saying? You got to kill me to take this chain. You got to kill. Hey, that's the same spirit that, listen, you was going to have to kill Judas. That's the only way. Right? It says, God forbid that I should do this thing and flee away from them. If our time be come, let us die manfully for our brethren, and let us not stain our honor. And just think about that. You know, it's people who say all the time, oh, I'm ready to die. I'm not scared to die. Imagine when you facing death. You in bad breath distance with death. And you telling everybody, hey, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Standing tall. That's who our ancestors are. That's one of our mighty ancestors right there. You feel what I'm saying? We don't come from no people who just cut and run. We wasn't led by people like that. All right, but you got it.
That's right, man. Our forefathers was mighty, straight warriors, either few or many in number, right? And we wasn't always many in number. But hey man, we can go all day with this, man. Cause you know, they think the so-called black man is just slavery, man. Just get beat. All we did was get beat, and our names was changed to damn Daryl, and we just served the white man. We was ruling, man. You know, we was ruling, and you start to find out what happened of us not ruling. That's all from knowing your ancestors, and then it end up trickling down to you. Dang, so for real, you know, Jake be mind blown. We bring it on the highways and byways. Then it's that Jake that found out about his ancestors, you know, his forefathers, and he loved the way this life is. He loves slavery, basically. He loves captivity. That's basically what they say in the spirit. They love slavery. You love your master. You love playing taxes. You love going to clubs and things of that matter, right? Which is madness, right? I want to go to far as what the brother was saying, that we are hardworking, nation, right? We are hardworking people. Our forefathers was hardworking. I'm gonna go to First Maccabees chapter 13 because they say, you know, Jake say like yeah, we built the pyramids, but because they think we, they saying we think we Egyptians and things of that matter. Because they know we built the pyramids, but they don't know exactly what people built them. You know what I'm saying? They say we, but they don't know exactly what people, right? They was the Israelites, man, right? This was Simon, right? First Maccabees chapter 13, verse 28. I'm gonna start at 27. Simon also built a, a monument upon the sepulchre of his father and his brethren, and raised it aloft to the site with hewn stone behind and before, right? So Simon is building, a grave, which is a commandment, right? And this is the ordinances what we did when we bury our brothers and our sisters, our family, in that manner, right? He was burying Jonathan, his brother, and Judas, right? Moreover, he set up 7 pyramids, one against another, for his father and his mother and his 4 brethren, right? Hey, he built pyramids, right? Well, I thought the Egyptians built the pyramids. No, the Israelites built the pyramids. And they still cannot find out how those pyramids are made. They still can't find out how they made. They talking about it's aliens and aliens made them, and they don't know that we wasn't a slow people, man. We wasn't retarded. They think in the ancient world when they say Stone Age, they think damn, we were just slow and just trying things out. No, we actually had knowledge and wisdom according to the Most High, right? Other than these other nations, because Stone Age, that's really going with Esau, the Flintstones. Those are the ones that didn't know what the hell they was doing, crawling like 4-footed beasts and just eating whatever they want to eat. And if it got blood in it, they can take it. That's juice to them, right? But more of the story, we built those pyramids, and they don't know who. They don't even know how it's made. Jake don't even know what people made it, but he just say us just because it was melanated people, in the Egyptian captivity, right? But we built those pyramids, man, and we know how to make them. Hey, we never know. One day the Lord gonna put the spirit on us, and we gonna see those. You gonna see that pyramid again, right? Which is crazy, man. Simon built those pyramids, right? I'm gonna read on. And in these he made cunning devices, about the which he set great pillars, and upon the pillars he made all their armor for a perpetual memorial, so like a perpetual memory, and by the armor ships carved, that they might be seen of all that sail on the sea, right? Damn, that's somewhat a mini museum for his brethren, man. And we don't have that. We don't have a mini museum. If we do, all you see is damn. You don't really see much, man. It's all folly. But just for the point, hey, we wasn't just out here just doing whatever, man. Our forefathers out here working and building things, possess things, right? I got another precept, right? Going into the, we was mighty warriors, right? 2 Samuel 23. Because we wasn't just always being subdued by heathens, man. We hold ourselves with dignity, honor. We were slaying, conquering, things of that manner, right? So 2 Samuel chapter 23, uh, 18, right? And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was chief among 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3. So he raised up his spear against 300, man. Who doing that? Like, hey, Jake has this spirit, man. Every time when it's a group of people, he by himself in a party, and hey, man, it's whatever. You got that same, it's on the left-hand side, but it's that same spirit, right? And it's according to Jake's will, but hey, they had the spirit of the Most High God, and they was willing to fight for their people, man. So he raised his spear up against 300 men and slew them. No worries, not frantic, not worrying about anything. Let's read on. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore, he was their captain. Hey, we was captains, man. We was captains in this thing. Howbeit, he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a violent man, right? of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. That mean they was big. They was damn near almost the size of a lion. Moab. And we all know who Moab is, according to the Bible. That's the Chinese man. And the Chinese man, they big. They big. You see them hefty. They eat a lot. And I seen them more. They smoke a lot too, man. Eat them a little baby Moabites, chiefing a lot of squares. They still doing that now, right? Of their ancestors, right? But read, no, he slew 2 lion-like men, and Jake still has that spirit. So when you know your ancestors and dive into this thing, hey man, I still got that same spirit. I still have that spirit in certain situations, right? Hey, our forefathers was warrior. Let's read on. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. So, hey, you Jakes think that you won't do nothing to a lion. Hey, our forefathers done it, man. If you got the fear of the Most High, right? You keeping the commandments, right? You doing the work. Hey, the Lord will put the spirit on you, give you mercy, put the spirit on you, will slay a lion, man. And lions was way bigger than it was then. They was about like 8 feet, if I'm not mistaken. 8 feet, right? 8 feet, and how much they weigh now, who knows? So I think the average lion now is like 3, 4, 5, something, right? I don't want to wing it. But he slew a lion in the snow, man. In the snow, right? I'm going to keep reading on. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. See that? Hey, we wasn't just slaves in this thing, man. We wasn't just working at McDonald's. That's Jake all. That's all Jake know is that we were slaves, and we go to work, and we dance, and we make music, and we more than that, man. Our ancestors was more than that, and singing slavery songs, and that's off, man. We was more than that. But you got it.
Hey, like he said, man, we was really like when he just read about Benaiah, when he just read about so like let me go back to that. 2 Samuel 23. Benaiah and Abishai. Right. Even if you keep reading on in 2 Samuel 23 and 20, I'm gonna read that. And Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in time of snow. So it's snowing outside. It's cold. Listen, wasn't no Montclairs. They didn't have Montclairs. They didn't have them hot hands. You feel what I'm saying? They ain't had no Timberland boots. Bro, it's cold. They probably had coats of skin on. And he slew a lion in the snow. You know what I'm saying? Now, Jake, you see a pit bull and you kind of think you questioning everything. You know what I'm saying? That's not how Benaiah was moving. Let's keep reading. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. Bro, he had a stick. That's what a staff is. Now let's put it in today's term. Somebody got the Glock. You run down on them, take the Glock out their hand, and you kind of do what you got to do to them with their own pistol. That's who you come from. You just got to really put that in perspective. That's why I try to give these real life, updated, modern day examples so y'all can really understand how mighty that is. He killed the lion, then took somebody's gun from him and used their own gun on him. That's how we was coming back then. Let's read about David. Feel what I'm saying? Because hey, the Samuels, man, if you ain't got in there, you gotta kind of get in there, man. All right, but first I want to get this. This is 2 Samuel chapter 22 and verse number 33. It says, God is my strength and power, and he maketh my way perfect. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, and setteth me upon high places, upon my high places. So like, he teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the Lord teaches our Shalom Lamont. The Lord teaches our hands to war. And that's contrary to popular belief. You know, they think that we was just sitting around with Bibles and just, you know what I'm saying? They think it was church. They think it was Christianity. Listen, it was war going on. Let's see what Moses said. Feel what I'm saying? We don't come from no soft dudes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jake, y'all wear makeup now. Y'all get French tips. Jake's getting their eyebrows done, getting their eyebrows waxed. Your pants hanging halfway down your ankles. Hey, Jake carrying around purses now, man. Wearing pink wigs. Look at Saucy Santana. If you don't know who that is, please do not research it. I don't even want you to do that to yourself, man. If you're arrogant, Tay, if you don't know who that is, don't even research. Just know, hey, it's too much sugary sweetness going on around in Israel nowadays. When we was real life warriors. Let's see what Moses said. This Exodus chapter 15 and verse. I'm gonna start at 1 and then I'm gonna drop down to 3. Then sang Moses and the children of Israel this song unto the Lord, and spake, saying, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider hath he thrown into the sea. Right, and this was right after the Red Sea situation. I'm sure everybody knows what happened in the Red Sea. They gave glory to the Most High, like that. Man, my God saved me. They didn't say, hey, we cold, we like that. You know what I'm saying? Start dapping each other up. Hey, it said, I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. All right, I'm just keep reading on down. The Lord is my strength and song, and he has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him an habitation. My father's God, and I will exalt him. And here's the point. The Lord is a man of war. It said the Lord is a man of war. Listen, contrary to popular belief, God loves a good fight. I mean, Jake, you know how you was in high school. Kind of standing at the lunchroom, two people get to fight, you standing on tables, you be pushing people up, you trying to see the fight. Hey, we always been getting down with fighting, man. However, fighting each other the way we do, that's not something that was ever cool for us to do. But against our enemies, hey, the most, man, look, if you read that Old Testament, that's why the Christians don't like Old Testament now. They say it's too rough. It was too violent. You know what I'm saying? Now let's go to see what David did. All right, because everybody heard the David and Goliath story, but they heard like the watered down, the Veggie Tales version of the story. They don't really know how David and Goliath went, right? So let's walk this down. Right, it's 1 Samuel chapter 17. All right, and I'm gonna go to verse 4. And there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. Now, I looked into this a while ago. Everybody kind of got their own different opinions, but what I found was that a cubit was 1.5 feet. Now, I don't know how true that is. I'm just throwing that number out there for the sake of the math. Now, if 6 cubits, 6 times 1.5 is 9.5 feet, right? We're just going to work with that number, right? Now, don't quote me. But ain't nobody walking this earth damn near 10 feet tall no more. Just imagine that. You finna go to war. This dude is damn near 10 feet tall. Imagine Shaq standing in front of you. He trying to box. He trying to go 30. But he was 2 feet taller than 2.5 feet taller than Shaq. He would have made Shaq look like he was a midget. Now let's see if David was scared of him. Let's see if David was like, oh my God, I don't know, man. I don't know. He big, man. I don't know how I think the Most High done outdid himself with this one. Right? And let's see how the rest of Israel was moving in comparison to David. Let's keep reading. It says, and he had an helmet of brass upon his head, and he was armed with a coat of mail. And the weight of the coat was 5,000 shekels of brass. And he had greaves of brass upon his legs and a target of brass between his shoulders. He had brass armor on, and it was heavy too. It wasn't something that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't them little bulletproof vests that the police wear It can kind of fit under their shirts. And I mean, these was big, you know what I'm saying? This is metal he's carrying around. This is heavy. You know how strong you gotta be to carry that much metal on you like that? Especially when you that big. How big you think them shoulder pads of metal and that chain metal, if he's 9.5 feet tall, for the sake of the conversation, how big do you think that armor was? You feel what I'm saying? And the staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and his spear's head weighed 600 shekels of iron, and one bearing a shield went before him. Verse 8, and he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel and said unto them, why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine, and ye servants to Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. So he was kind of talking that talk. He was like, ain't I the Philistines? You know who I am? He talking to the children of God that way. You know, so prideful, so arrogant. Now let's see how our people responded. Right? I'm gonna keep reading on. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. He said, I don't think y'all really like that. Send somebody up here so we can get down right quick. Right? It says, when Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid. Right? And then now it's going into David. And I'm gonna jump down because it's a long chapter. I don't want to be up here for hours just reading 1 Samuel 17. So we're gonna jump down to verse 23. And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion. Here come Goliath, right? The Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them. So now this time David heard him talking crazy. And let's see how David felt about that. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him and were sore afraid. And the men of Israel said, have ye seen this man that has come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Right? And that's kind of like that spirit that they got now, where they got a reward. You know what I'm saying? They might have an APB out on a murder suspect, a robbery suspect. They say, hey, anybody who got any information, you can catch this. Like they used to do the Bonnies, you know, back in the old West and all that. It might have been 10 pounds of gold if you can catch this gunslinger named whatever, right? They had a bounty on Goliath, right? Saul did. Now let's keep going. It says, and David spake to the men that stood by him, what shall be done to the man that killeth this Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? He said, I'm trying to keep it PG. Who do this guy think he is coming up against the armies of the living God? That was his response. He wasn't like everybody else. There's kind of like, man, he kind of big. It was real carnal with it. He's like, man, he ain't bigger than God. Who do he think he is? Right? This is one of our mightiest ancestors. And he was a young man at that time. They don't say exactly how old he was. But we know that he was a youth. You know what I'm saying? He might have been early 20s, late teens, somewhere around there. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds, what do y'all want to do? Y'all want to go get drunk and ask where the hoes at. You know what I'm saying? You lazy, you don't have a job. You don't want a job. You just sit around and smoke weed all day. You know, you on OnlyFans all day. You on the hub all day. This man was outside like, man, who do this dude think he is? This dude, them are 10 feet tall, maybe even taller. We don't know. Because we know that they were way bigger back then than they were now. And he said, man, look, I'm gonna let the Bible speak for itself. And the people answered him after this manner, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killeth him. Right? And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David, and he said, Why camest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that thou mightest see the battle. His older brother worried about some damn cows and sheep. And this man is embarrassing the entire nation of Israel right now. His mind wasn't right. And let's see if he was able to get David out of the spirit. And David said, What have I now done? Is there not a cause? And he turned from him toward another and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. Right. Then I'm gonna drop down to verse where all right, we're gonna get straight to how David got down. I'm gonna go down to verse 41. And the Philistine came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about and saw David, he disdained him, for he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of a fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into mine hand, and I will smite thee and take thine head from thee. He told him, I'm gonna take your head off your shoulders. And as we read on, you're gonna see he wasn't just talking. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like y'all, you know what I'm saying? Your mama, when you was little, she said, I'm gonna slap you in the next week. You know what I'm saying? Or just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna beat you like you stuff. It wasn't like he was serious when he said that. You know? So I'm gonna get down to the point. Verse 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell upon his face to the earth. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him. But there was no sword in David's hand. Right, and this is the last verse. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine, and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof, and slew him and cut off his head therewith. He not only did he kill this giant, he took his head off. Right. So we come from warriors, man. Not you soft jakes nowadays who want to be keyboard warriors on Instagram. But you got her.
See that? That man David, man. Hey, David was talking that talk in the spirit of the Lord. It was not out of his own belly. That's having the fear of the Lord. But that's our forefathers, man. Mighty men of war. We wasn't just slaves, right? That spirit of courage and boldness, right? Because Jake still has that. It's just on the left hand side. You get to know your ancestors. You get to know who you are and how to move, right? And then when you learn them, what I just brought out, what I just literally just said, you'll know how to move, man. You know how to conduct yourself. You know how to take care of your money. Cause Jake don't know how to take care of his money in this world, man. He don't. Our forefathers knew how to take care of money, right? They knew how to take care of money. They knew how to take care of their women, their children, right? They knew what to teach them. They know how to be a husband. Hey, we can learn a lot from our ancestors, man. All right, we can learn a lot from them, right? I want to bring out King Solomon. Let's go into some situations our forefathers been through that literally relates to us. Cause everything ain't new under the sun. Nothing is not new under the sun. Nothing. Right? Let me bring that up real quick. Cause nothing is new, man. When you dive into it, you realize like, damn, so and so went through this. Right? Oh man. Damn, I'm getting tempted. Oh man, how was y'all been through this? All right. Nothing's new under the sun, man. Let me get that. Ecclesiastes 1:9. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done, is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Right? So when you find out and know who your forefathers is and the situations they've been in, you've been through the same thing. And if you haven't, somebody else been through it. So this is why it's important for us to know who our forefathers are, who our foremothers are, who we are as a people, man. Because Jake don't want to dig this out. Jake don't want to learn. Because if you tell him, hey man, what about the people, that our ancestors that passed away? He said, what about them? I got my family now. That's off. Because you ain't learning nothing from them. You ain't learning a damn thing. All you learning how to mix drinks, how to roll up, how to pop different women. That's all you learning. How to dress, which our forefathers knew how to dress, but you dressing in the heathen's clothing. So don't think like you really got it, cause really them clothes ain't yours, right? So hey man, look, Jake ain't learning nothing. He's saying things like that. So let's see. Let's go to King Solomon, what everybody knows, who everybody knows, right? And they try to paint him as a so-called white man, but the characteristics don't add up when you dive into it. Cause how can you be a so-called white man in the way how he moved and the way how he dressed his house? How he bedazzled his house is not like how Esau would bedazzle his house, man. You damn, he got gold on everything, man. What's that show? MTV Cribs. Hey, when you read Solomon how he built the house, man, that's like MTV Cribs, man. Cause everything is bedazzled, right? With the wisdom that he had and the knowledge that he had, he didn't wing it nothing. Jake like to wing things. Think he knows something. You keep asking him questions and questions. So this is just winging it. Solomon didn't do none of that, right? Let's bring this out. First Kings chapter 2, right? I'm just get to the precept when he was anointed king because I got a point, right? First Kings chapter 2 in verse, I say 22, right? Gone. First Kings chapter 2 and verse 22. No, no, no. Salakia. First Kings chapter 1 and verse 39. Right. I'm gonna go to verse 38. So Zadok the priest and Nathan the prophet and Benaiah the son of Jehoiada and the Cherethites and the Pelethites went down and caused Solomon to ride upon King David's mule and brought him to Jahan. And Zadok the priest took an horn of oil out of the tabernacle and anointed Solomon. And they blew the trumpet, and all the people said, God save King Solomon. Now, Solomon is getting raised up in the throne, man. He just became king. How old was he? He was 15. What scholars say he was 15 years old. A 15-year-old king. Imagine that. And it's kings that was king. We have forefathers that was kings younger than that, man. He was king at 15 years old, judging a nation of people, right? Like I'm gonna say this again, we wasn't just slaves. And I can say this, we wasn't just a wicked people, right? We wasn't. It's a balance. We was righteous. We was also wicked. It's a balance, man. We're majority wicked, right? I mean, you disobeying the Most High God. We majority wicked. But hey, as a point of time, we got some righteous forefathers, man. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? But more of the story, he's 15 years old, man. At a king. A 15-year-old now don't even know how to rule the kingdom right now. The only thing he know how to do is sneak juice in the refrigerator and play the game on the weekends, eat a bowl of cereal at midnight, then you stay up all night, wake up again, eat another bowl of cereal, then ask your mama, can you have some money because you want some VC on the game. That's all a 15-year-old know, man. They don't know about ruling a nation, especially a 6-year-old. 6-year-olds now due to society, they don't know what's going on, man. All they know is tablets and iPhones. You got a 6-year-old, he got an iPhone 16, iPhone 14, 15, got an iPad, got an Apple Watch. What you got an Apple Watch for in second grade? What you doing with an Apple Watch in second grade? I gotta know it yet. Kids walking home by themselves. I just seen a little boy, he short, he about to my knee, walking home by himself. And society is crazy out here. You got rapists running on the loose, and they only giving them probation. They ain't really locking them up like that, unless it's at the Most High. Unless the Most High say so, because that's really all it is. Unless if the Most High want that man locked up for life, he'll do it, right? But with man, they're not gonna do it. Esau not gonna do it. But hey, he was 15 years old, right? And let's go to chapter 3, right? Let's go to chapter 3 and let's see, because a 15-year-old not finna ask for these things. Because what Solomon asked for, for a 15-year-old now, they'll ask for the opposite, right? So this First Kings chapter 3 and verse 6. And Solomon said, Thou hast shewed unto thy servant. I'm gonna start at verse 5. And Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, Ask what I shall give thee. And Solomon said, Thou hast shewed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked, Salakia, as he walked thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. Just like a 15-year-old now, they don't know how to go out or come in. Solomon admitted himself, I'm nothing but a little child. And through the mercy, through the mercy of you, you made me, I became king right after my father, man. This was destined to happen. He literally just confirmed that, I'm just a little child. I don't know how to come in or go out. 15-year-olds now, they don't know. These kids don't know, man. They don't know. That just confirmed right there. So if a kid out here think he knows something, it's somebody that had more wisdom and knowledge and understanding than everybody on this earth. And he knew that he didn't know anything either as a child. So who are you bucking against up, a grown man or somebody that's the same age as you? Right? And that's humble to say. And a 15-year-old, very wise to say at a 15-year-old to the Most High God. You got damn kids out here just saying anything, sticking their middle finger up to the sky. I remember when I was I forgot how old I was. I was probably like 13. We playing basketball in the backyard. You know what I'm saying? And he just, Jake, he talking crazy, we hooping and stuff. And for some reason, I don't know how the conversation went to the Most High. And he like, man, F the Most High, and flicked his middle finger. I'm looking at him like, bro, you tripping? What's wrong with you? That's what you got nowadays. They flicking up to the Most High, man. Our forefathers didn't do that, because you would definitely drop dead. You would drop dead. Aaron dropped dead. You would drop dead. He'll take your spirit from you. He'll take your spirit while you driving, right? Don't play with the Most High, man. And Solomon knew that at 15 years old, right? So let's read. And thy servants in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people? He asked for an understanding heart to judge the people, man. 15-year-olds is not doing that nowadays. They are not doing that at all. At all. Asking for an understanding heart. 15-year-old would think he already got it just because he knows some math equations. That's off. Right? That's off. Now, don't get me wrong. It's some kids out here, they got what's that? They test scores is extremely high. All praise to the Most High, the Lord gave them that. But God forbid they out here thinking that, they above, everybody. They above the Most High. Right? So he asked for an understanding heart. I'm gonna jump down to verse 13. I'm gonna go to verse 12. It says, Behold, it's the Most High talking, and behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. Now the Most High just blessed them for asking this, because he asked for an understanding heart, not $100 for VC, right? not a pair of Jordans, right? Not a PS5, not a damn Xbox Series, whatever they call it now, not an iPhone, right? Not damn comic books and things of that matter. He asked for an understanding heart and a throne that the Most High put him in. Because he really, hey, he don't know anything. He confirmed it in verse 7. He didn't know anything as a child, 15 years old. If a 15-year-old became king right now, he will be going off. First of all, this place is nothing but lust. That's automatically what he gonna dive into. Lust immediately. And he gonna be glutton because he get all the food that he want. He just gonna eat anything. He just gonna eat anything. He just, hey, we don't even want to go too deep. We already know what's in the ways of this world. That's what he gonna dive into. A 15-year-old now. But the Most High is blessing him. Right? Verse 13. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. It will be a king not unto thee, like unto thee all thy days. This was the richest black man on earth, the so-called black man. And Jake think like he got a lot of money. First of all, that money ain't yours. It's not yours. It got Esau on it. It got the so-called white man on it. With not a hairline. You got the so-called white man. You boasting about money that the so-called white man has on, right? His face on there, and he ain't even got no line, and he not even dressed nice. You know, you boasting about that. Hey, but Solomon had gold that you couldn't even get now. You can't even find Ophir. You can't find rubies. He had all that, man. And this is what a 15-year-old asks. This was our forefather. Mighty, right? This is what he asks. Now, when you read down, you'll see the things that he got into are what all Jakes get into, right? So I'm gonna bring this out. Now you got it. I don't want to be long-winded, but when we learn about our ancestors, right, which is our forefathers, our foremothers, you will see that this is written for our learning. Because what he asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You should ask for that too. You should ask to handle a judge type people, because we judges on this earth, man. Let me get that. First Corinthians. The Lord literally trusts us to judge the people according to Him, right? First Corinthians. Shalakia. First Corinthians 6:1. 6 verse 1. First Corinthians chapter 6 verse 1. Right. Verse 2. It says, "Do ye not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, are ye unworthy to judge the smallest matters?" Right? Don't you know? Hey, don't you know that the saints shall judge the world? Hey, we judge the world right now. And Solomon at 15 years old asks to judge that people have an understanding heart. Hey, you should be asking for that. That's a lesson right there. You better ask for that instead of asking for riches. Because you asking it for your lust if you asking for riches. And the Lord may give it to you so you can destroy yourself, or he won't give it to you at all. Right? That's all according to the Most High. Right? So let's read 1 Kings chapter 11. Right? Verse 1. And everybody knows this. Everybody know this chapter, you Israelites. Right? Verse 1, it says, "But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonianites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto children of Israel, Ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave unto these in love." Right? Now, this is the richest man on earth. This is the richest man in mankind, honestly. Because there ain't going to be another king like this, rich like this. Right? Hey, man. If anybody say, "Hey, man, this the richest," no, you forgot. You leaving King Solomon out. Right? King Solomon is number one. Right? Let's read on. And he has 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. And you see that in today. Jake wives is turning away his heart. Because little do he know, hey, according to the Bible, hey, sex is marriage. So all these women that he be, getting into, hey, they turning away his heart towards away from the Most High, man. And he died. He messed with so many women. You messing with a man that did it already. And Jake, you would know that because you got Jake, that damn Lil Wayne. I wish I can, all the girls in the world. For what? For what? But that's that same spirit, man. That's that same spirit. You want to do that, but if you find out that your ancestors, your forefathers, hey, he done it, King Solomon done it, what's the point of doing it? He did this already. What's so great about it? And he talks about it. He gives you wisdom about it. He gives you counsel about these women and about these men, right? About like how, hey, these kings done it. All the things that you doing, these kings done it already. So what does it matter? This for Jakes that always want to just the things that's highly esteemed in this world, all the glory of this world, when it's all vanity, right? But you gotta.
I want to get one of the quotes of King Solomon himself, right? Because for those who don't know, King Solomon wrote Proverbs. And if you've never read Proverbs, man, it's some game in there. Let me tell you. Right? But I want to get Proverbs chapter 8. Right? Because the brother was just going into how he prayed to the Most High for wisdom. Right? Let's see what Solomon had to say about wisdom. It's Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 11. It says, "For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it." He said, all things. Right? Hey, ain't like, think about it. How would money be more important than wisdom if you need wisdom to be able to manage the money? How would women be more important than wisdom if you need wisdom to be able to manage the women? Look at all these rich dudes. Look at Tyrese. Look at this clown Tyrese. He got all this money. Dude don't know the first thing about dealing with a woman. Steve Harvey got all this money, don't know the first thing about dealing with a woman. Hey, we was just talking about, I think that was last week, that Madea movie with Bow Wow. He had that baby mama. She was always screaming and Byron, bruh. That same way, hey, you gotta have understanding to be able to manage this stuff. We were a people of understanding. Of course, we always was rebellious. Just like, look at black people now. They don't listen to nothing. But how one thing we are not is stupid. Never have been, never will be. Hispanics, Native Americans, never been stupid. Just rebellious. It's a difference. Right? So I'm going to read this again, and I'm going to jump over to my other chapter. This Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 11. It say, "For wisdom is better than rubies, and all things that may be desired are not to be compared to it." Now let's get some of the wise men. Right? Let's get one of the wisest men. Let's talk about Joseph. All right. Joseph, let's go to Genesis chapter let's go to Genesis chapter 37 right quick. In verse number, where I want to start. Let's start at verse 23. Because like the brother said, hey, we was the people who used to get fresh now. So I just want to get a account of Joseph getting fresh. It's Genesis 37 verse 23. "And it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him." Right? He had a coat with many colors. Like I was talking about the Montclair earlier. Listen, we've been getting fresh. Let me tell you. He had a coat of many colors, bro. They didn't have, it wasn't no polyester back then. You know what I'm saying? This coat, man, ain't no telling how long it took to make that coat. How many different animals. And colors wasn't as easy to get back then. Bro, you couldn't just go to the damn, to the Joann or the whatever your local arts and crafts store was, pick something off the shelf. Man, hey, for them to get purple, they had to go into the sea and get a snail. That's how they got the color purple. You feel what I'm saying? All these different exotic colors, he had all that in one coat. Feel what I'm saying? He was fresh. So fresh, his brothers was hating on him, just like they do now. Right? But I want to get the account of his wisdom. Let's go to Genesis chapter 39 and verse number 7. I'm gonna start at verse 1 so we can get some context, right? And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. Right? So this is after his brother sold him into slavery to the Ishmaelites, to the Arabs, and then the Africans bought him. Right? Verse 2. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house and all that he had put into his hand. So, hey, this is a mighty man of the Lord. Just imagine you just got sold into slavery. Let's use today's term. You just got locked up, falsely accused of something. You locked up now. But hey, he still was prospering. The Most High was still with him, even in this horrible time, bro. Your own blood brothers just sold you into slavery. They took that Montclair off you. They jacked you for your Montclair, and then sold you to the heathen. Sold you to some people who hey, remember off Training Day when he dropped off dude to the Mexicans? That's what he did. He thought they was cool, and then he gave them to the enemy. Just like Denzel did it. I can't remember dude's name in Training Day. But hey, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Right, let's keep reading. It says, I'm gonna drop down to verse number 7. Right. Okay, Joseph was mighty, and the Lord was with him. Okay. Verse 7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, lie with me. Hey, Joseph wasn't no ugly, dirty dude. Joseph was him. I mean, listen, before he was the master of the house, he was wearing colorful coats. Jake, you got that same spirit now. It's like Brother Solomon, man, from Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? Lord willing, he watching this. Brother like to dress. You know what I'm saying? He might have a hat. He might have a, you know what I'm saying? He might have a J's. He might have a belt. He like to get down. That's just him. That's in his spirit, bro. We been like that. Man, let me get this other account, and we're gonna come back to I'm gonna get 2 small accounts, right? Because even the priests, when you go into the law, it was a commandment that they had to be fresh, bro. Let's go to let's read about Aaron. Right? This is Exodus chapter 28 and verse number 1. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother and his sons with him from among the children of Israel, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And thou shalt make holy garments for Aaron thy brother for glory and for beauty. He said, not only do you got to make garments for him that's holy, they made to be beautiful and glorious. They made to make you be like, damn. You feel what I'm saying? Let's get the description of these clothes. Right? Verse 4. And these are the garments which they shall make. Salaki, verse 5. And they shall take gold and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen. And they shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen with cunning work. It got to be right. It like on the movies, man, when they be trying on the suits and the dude be kind of having a measurement, the little ruler thing, kind of measuring on. Bro, it had to be perfect. It had to be perfect. Let's drop down to verse 15. And thou shalt make the breastplate of judgment with cunning work. After the work of the ephod, thou shalt make it of gold, of blue, of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen. And thou shalt make it. Verse 17. Thou shalt set in the settings of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle. And these are minerals. These are fine stones and crystals. You can look up each one that we bringing out, right? It's Exodus 28 and verse 17 that I'm reading. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. They was wearing diamonds. That ain't new. Wearing diamond, bro. You know how shiny this dude had to be. The Lord is like, man, you ain't finna come up in front of me looking any kind of way. You had to come before him looking right. Tell me how this is not us, man. Hey, what are your? I remember this pastor got arrested. I can't remember dude's name, but he used to wear, what was it, the Gucci suits, or like a Louis V suit. I can't remember, man. I wish I could remember his name, but he got locked up for scamming or whatever. Dude was wearing designer suits, teaching in church. Now we know that's on the left hand side, and the Most High not dealing with pastors. But however, hey, that same spirit we've been had. When we came before the Lord, they call it Sunday's best for a reason. You feel what I'm saying? So let me get my other account. Right, let's go to Solomon. Let's see what Solomon was talking about. Right, because little do y'all know, gold chains and gold teeth, that ain't nothing new neither. Right, this Songs of Solomon chapter 1 and verse number 10. It says, "Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels." Hey, that's talking about slugs. You feel what I'm saying? Hey, they look at the rappers now. Even Jake and the Hood, man, you could have a crackhead on the street, and he probably still got his slugs in. Right? It says, "Thy neck with chains of gold." They had gold chains back then. This is before Christ. Thousands of years ago, they was rocking gold chains. Now you got Flavor Flav, you got Boosie, you got the Migos. They known for having crazy chains. You got T Grizzly. You know what I'm saying? All the rappers nowadays, it was the same back then. We always been trying to get fresh. Right? Now let's go back to Joseph. And let's see how Joseph moved, regardless of him being so high and mighty, him being so beloved of the Lord. Let's see what kind of integrity he had, right? And then I yield after this, right? It's my last point. Genesis chapter 39 and verse number 7. "And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me." This is the Pharaoh wife. You got to understand this. Right? I believe this is the Pharaoh's wife. We're just going to go with the context. It's the master's wife. Only person that's above Joseph is the master, his wife, which is very off. It's very disgusting. However, it comes to my point, at the Israelites, we look good, man. You know what I'm saying? It's on Life, when dude was asking, I think it was Life, when he was asking, "Hey, who got my daughter pregnant?" And they all kind of came out, she knew she wasn't supposed to be messing with them black dudes. But she had a black baby. It's been like that. They can't get enough of us. You know, look how they move with that. You see how mad they get about the athletes. They say, "Oh, these athletes, they get famous and stuff. They want these white girls and these Asian girls." You know, Jeezy messing with the Moabite. You know, it's always been that way. We've always been the best at everything, especially how we look. You got to break up.
No, especially with Jay-Z, the Moabite, I believe they divorced now.
See that? I heard that same thing. You know, and it's like, it's always been, to some degree, that just like Solomon messing with the heathen, we overthrow ourselves trying to mess with these other races, man. That snow bunny spirit, you know. Like, it's just amazing how similar we are to our ancestors, right? But let's jump back into the story with Joseph. It's Genesis 39 and verse 8. "But he refused." Now, Jake, she wasn't ugly. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. She's the master's wife. He ain't riding around with nothing busted and disgusted. She had to be cold. And he still told her, "Nah, you can't get none of this." Now, Jake, what you would have did? You know what I'm saying? You got the president's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Let's say she 23, long hair. You know what I'm saying? She thick like you like them. You know, Jake got that red bone spirit bad. She light skinned. You know what I'm saying? She smell good. She got her earrings just right. She got the bracelets. Jake, you might have went. You'd have snatched your clothes off right then and there. You know what I'm saying? But your ancestor Joseph, he said, "Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater in this house than I. Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee." He told her, "You the only thing in your husband's house that he has not given to me." Right? He kind of he popping his shit. He like, hey, I'm the man around here. You feel what I'm saying? Why would I touch you when I got? Why would I do that? Why would I put myself in that position? You feel what I'm saying? And this is a very wise thing to say. You know, hey, the Lord did all these things. Let's even look at us. The Lord gave us all this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, man. All these prophecies we understand, all this history we understand. How dare we go and do something like this and commit adultery? You know what I'm saying? Go back to breaking the Sabbath. That's the same spirit that Joseph was in. Let's keep reading. In verse 9, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it's a cut for all you people who try to say that the commandments wasn't a thing before Moses. Why is he talking about committing a sin way before Moses if the law wasn't already into existence? Right? So death to that false doctrine. However, hey, even he had everything. All he didn't have was this woman. He wasn't greedy. He wasn't like, man, this would be the cherry on top. You know, Jake, in your music, they talk about taking people, women, and, you know, I remember I used to listen to this rapper. I ain't gonna say his name. We not gonna give no attention to nothing that's unlawful. He said in a song, he said, you know, if you hit you hit a nigga woman, that's worse than killing him. Hey, that's what he said. He said, if you can pop his woman, that's better than you taking his life. You feel what I'm saying? This is the spirit that we move in now. Completely contrary to how Joseph moved. Now, let's see if she just stopped there. Let's see if she's like, all right, Joseph, whatever, yeah, you the man, cool. It says, and it came to pass as she spoke to Joseph day by day. Dude, she was on his heel. It say day by day. Just think about this. He probably tried to come out the bathroom. There she is, her husband away. She kind of like, hey, Joseph. He kind of looked the other way like, bro. The next day, she probably tried to cook him some food, or I made you breakfast. It said day by day. She was persistent. She was like, I'm getting some of that. You know what I'm saying? And I can't remember the precept, but it said Joseph was well favored. You know what I'm saying? Joseph was in shape, man. He was like that. He wasn't like, you know what I'm saying, Jake nowadays, man. You know, y'all be 6'5", 120 pounds. You know, pants hanging off your. No, he was, man. She was. Let's read it again. Let's let the Bible speak for itself. Verse where was I at? Verse 10. And it came to pass as she spake just to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. He didn't even listen to her. He wasn't even entertaining her. She was getting on his nerves. Jake, you get one woman to like you, you don't know how to control yourself. You don't know how to act. He had one of the highest level women in the land trying to get at him, and he wouldn't even listen to nothing she was saying. Right? Like, now, let's finish this off. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. She was so hot and heavy, she tried to take it from him. Just think about that. She tried to take it. And he still ran. He still kept his integrity. He got out of there. Right? Now, if you read on, you know what I'm saying? He got locked up. Let's read that. Verse 20. It says, this after she falsely accused him of taking it from him. You know? I mean, this demon of a woman got this man. Jake, does that not happen to you? Does that not, how many false rape allegations do Jake? I remember some dude, he's supposed to go to the league. End up fighting the case, beating the case, and they lost to and he lost his ability to make it to the league. Even after the woman said she lied. You feel what I'm saying? So it's Genesis 39 verse 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoner was bound, and there he was in prison. He was locked up, bro. Is that not us? He got locked. He ain't even want it. Imagine you get locked up over a woman that you actually want. He got locked up for a woman he didn't want nothing to deal with. Right? Our ancestors went through the same things we did. I'm gonna get this last precept. Let's see what Isaiah had to say about our people, and then you got it. It's Isaiah chapter 42 and verse number 22, the classic. Right? We pull it all the time at camp. Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. Right? We've been getting locked up, going to prison for various reasons since the beginning. Bro, Joseph was in Genesis. Isaiah was around after David. This is, I mean, thousands upon thousands of years of us dealing with these certain types of things that we deal with now. But because we don't study, we don't know who our ancestors are. We don't know how powerful King Solomon was, how mighty Joseph was, you know, how mighty Moses was when he was making Aaron's garments of gold, and he had diamonds and emeralds and carbuncles and all of this other sapphire and all this, right? Because we got to be able to get in the Bible and read these accounts to know where we come from. Like the brother said earlier, we more than just slaves. We was more than just Harriet Tubman. We didn't just pop up out of nowhere in 1619. But you got it.
Hey, brothers bringing it out, man. Right, I just want to touch on Joseph, right? Winding down. Just want to touch on Joseph because he brought it out mighty, man. And this was another heathen. You see a lot of brothers in the courtroom crying. I forgot the brother name. This was years ago. He been locked up for about like, I don't even want to butcher it, but basically over a decade, right? And he went to court, and then they say, um, it was not true, things of that manner. You know how the court speaks. And he was just crying like, yo, I lost half of my life, and y'all finally realizing that I didn't do it. What type of evil is that, right? So we go through the same things, man. If you're not knowing who your ancestors is, right? And on top of that, Joseph ended up being a commander right under Pharaoh, right? Right under Pharaoh. Now, this same spirit literally happens to when damn Jake signs a deal, right? So we're gonna read into it, right? Joseph chapter 41, verse 42. I'm gonna start at 41. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen and put a gold chain about his neck. This what literally goes on in the industry, right? Jake signed that contract, right? You got the so-called white man. They damn, hey, look, hey, I got you. I'm gonna put you on top. You're gonna be number one on the Billboard. You're gonna be the greatest rapper alive. I got you. You're gonna have all the women, things of that manner. Put a gold chain on his neck. They take the earring off, right? Not the earring, but the ring off. They take the ring off, put it on his finger, right? That's that damn Esau does that. And that's that damn Diddy spirit too, man. That Birdman and Diddy spirit, man. Right? Read on, it says, and he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had, and they cried up before him, bowed the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. So, hey, just how Pharaoh, it was all according to the Most High. It was so Joseph can take care of his family. You know, while the famine was gonna hit, but this was somewhat in the same spirit how Esau be running these industries. Take the ring off, put a gold chain on you, give you a car, right, a Benz or something, or damn the Tesla truck, whatever they got. They try to give you all these things in the same spirit. Hey, Jake, you went through the same thing, man. You get out of jail, you become a rapper, and you sign that deal, and they give you everything, right? But it don't be in righteousness. It don't be in righteousness at all, right? So, hey, and who are your ancestors, man? Know who your ancestors are, man. Cause literally, hey, I'm gonna bring this out again. Because when you find out who they are and realize the things they went through, it's for your learning, man. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Let's bring that out again. Romans chapter 15, verse 4. Right? Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope. Right? So, this is this is for our learning, right? This is for our hope, right? And the Most High God, and to be better men or better women in this thing, man, and children, right? So all praise to the Most High, Lord willing, the nation was edified, right? I want to give a shalom. First important, Salakia. Most importantly, I want to give our honor, glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. Shalom.